knew that somewhere between thousands of pages of Truth Commission evidence and countless news reports was a story untold. Of a project to breed the ultimate biological weapon, small, undetectable, and lethal. In a manor house on an estate near the hamlet of Hoek, we spoke to Dr. Dan Goosen, a distinguished clinical pathologist and veterinarian who became a professor at the age of 28. At one stage, he headed South Africa's biological warfare laboratories.
An irresponsible person could have killed millions of people. Millions of people. It could have had devastating consequences.
It was in a secret laboratory 15 kilometers north of Pretoria that Dan Goosen and his team of scientists hatched their killer bugs. South Africa's chemical and biological warfare program, codenamed Project Coast, was based at the Roodeplaat Research Laboratories. Inside the complex was a huge containment laboratory where work on the most lethal bacteria and germs was conducted. It was behind steel gates, a double row of electrified fencing, and specially bred guard dogs that the scientists achieved their terrifying breakthrough.
To get to this stage took about 7, 8, 9 years.
It's so small you have to look at it under a microscope, and you have to look at it at least at 1,000 times magnification. Then you will see a small little speck.
This is like splitting the atom. Exactly the same thing. But we were awed by the possibilities should this be applied in a war situation, yes.
And it looks very much like a brick, a small brick-like organism.
So it's unbelievable when you see it to think that this can potentially kill 1 million or 2 people. It's unbelievable.
Project Coast was born in the early 80s out of the total onslaught paranoia of former state president P.W. Botha. About R1 billion and staff of nearly 200 were allocated to Project Coast. The project carried on into the early 90s and was only disbanded shortly before F.W. de Klerk handed power to Nelson Mandela. At the time, the chief of the South African Defence Force was General Constant Viljoen.
So in the Angolan situation, we came across certain indications